There are some really important things playing out in the charts right now. And all I have to say is this is going to be fun because we are setting up for a massive slingshot move in terms of BTC, which for the broader crypto market is going to be a very important move. So when we look at ADA right now, we're sitting at about that 37-cent range again. We're just kind of chopping back and forth. Unfortunately, we kind of got drugged down by BTC. You guys can see that BTC did actually drop just below about 61K at the time of filming this video. And really what this had to do with was leverage liquidations again. All right. So I mentioned this earlier today. We talked about this a couple days ago. We'd gotten into this compression liquidation zone. Okay, you guys can see that we were basically going sideways. This chart right here is from about 23 hours ago. And you can see that just above here and just below here, massive short and long liquidations had potentials of happening. And unfortunately, we dropped into the bottom side of that. We got massive long liquidations that very quickly dropped us in terms of BTC all the way down to around the 61K range. Now, the interesting thing about this is that there is something playing out in the charts that people need to be aware of. So we talked about our long-term support. We talked about our 20-week moving average, our bull market support band, but that's not what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about actually this massive inverse head and shoulders that is actually playing out. We had one play out here back in mid-April through basically mid-May. And you guys can see what that did in terms of price, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then it slingshotted us to the upside. Well, we have an even more massive one playing out in our left shoulder, head, and now potentially our right shoulder playing out here for that next breakout move in terms of BTC. Now, this is not a guarantee. This is not financial advice. This is going to take a little while to play out. Like, look, for example, guys, this move doesn't play out all the way until late July, which, you know, from a time perspective would actually make a lot of sense. That's has a real potential of happening. That's when I've talked about our potential explosion moment. And what I have to say is this. Look at what all this leverage is doing now. Look at which side it's filling in on. It's filling in on the short side. Shorts are getting very bearish right now, too bearish for where we're at in this market cycle. And frankly, too bearish for us having this historic week like I've talked about. If you guys want to check out my Shiba Inu video from earlier today, even if you're not a SHIB person, you guys should check out what I said in there because this is important. Right now, the longs, I don't want to say have given up, but they're not putting a bunch of leverage here, meaning that our downside movements, apart from like fear and stuff like that setting in, they're going to be a lot more tempered. But where we do have the potential to start blowing through some ranges is if we start getting some buying. What I watched this week is actually very closely institutional money. Institutional money might be a big player this week. Maybe they continue to dump like they did last week. That would suck. But if they do start buying, like let's say, for example, we have a grayscale inflow day, don't be surprised if the charts start moving a little quickly to the upside. Now, again, there's been big correlation between, you know, ADA and the broader crypto market. And really what we need, again, is just that overall improvement in the market. Now, I have a video that's going to be coming a little later, and it's talking about some more complex things in terms of ADA because we're getting into this very exciting shift in the market. Now, what I have to say is it possible to go lower? Sure, right? We've seen wicks down. For example, this wick in terms of ADA actually came all the way down to the low 36-cent range. That's coming from all the way up at about the 40-cent range. What you need to know is that ADA is basically prepared to move. It is prepared to start flipping around and making its move to the upside. And we're finding great support in these levels. And it really just stems back to what I've talked about before. ADA is now the longest held asset in all of crypto, the longest average hold time. People have this long-term mindset, and we're gearing up, we're gearing up for these big developments and big launches that are going to be taking place in less than 2 months time. That's what you need to know. Big things are in fact taking place, and it's stuff that should propel us into the next leg for ADA. So I appreciate you guys as always. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.